Sure. Jim Paetsch. I'm the Executive Director and Senior Vice President for the Milwaukee 7. We're the regional economic development entity in southeastern Wisconsin.
Jim, would you mind describing the work you do for M7 and specifically how that work interacts with us here in Racine County?
Sure. So as the economic development organization that really covers the entire region, there's any number of different things that we're going to be engaged in. So it'll be everything from workforce to entrepreneurship, but really the fastball for the organization since we were founded in 2005 is corporate attraction and expansion. So these are real-time opportunities for with companies, directly with companies that are thinking about two things: where are they going to place jobs and where are they going to place capital investment. So we want to be in as many of those discussions as we possibly can, and also it's competitive. We want to win as many of those deals as we possibly can. So anytime we have a company that is considering a building or a site in Racine County, we certainly are going to engage with the local partners that are there. So of course, it's going to be Jonathan, Racine County, but also the Racine County Economic Development Corporation, and also one of the, or oftentimes many of the terrific municipal partners that you have there as well.
Jim, would you mind just sharing what makes Racine County and of course TID 5 such an appealing location for economic development?
Sure. So if you look at Racine County, there's some, I'll call them big picture assets that are there that have been in the county for a long period of time that makes it attractive to investment. So one is geography. So the county is really beautifully situated within the Milwaukee-Chicago corridor. So just to put this in perspective, you're looking at a corridor that's got close to 10 million population, terrific volume of companies, lots of terrific workforce as well. And so the county can really take advantage of that geography. Secondly, it's the manufacturing pedigree that exists within the county. So that certainly is something that if you think about our region and really as our state, we consistently rank among the tops in the United States for concentration of manufacturing workforce, but probably there's no county in our region where that's more true than in Racine County. So it's a terrific workforce on the talent side for white collar workers, so engineering talent, the kinds of people that will work in a manufacturing enterprise. On the product development side, testing side, we have a really deep workforce there. But of course, we also have a really significant and productive workforce on the shop floor. So we've a long tradition here of machinists, people that are operating technical equipment within a factory. It's a big differentiator for us, and Racine County is really important to that broader regional asset.
Thank you, Jim. Would you mind sharing a little bit about the potential, of course, that we've had the investment in TID 5 in Mount Pleasant with Foxconn, but of course now there's this Microsoft investment coming into Racine County. Can you talk a little bit about Microsoft and Foxconn, but also then the potential for future investment?
So I think in TID 5, when you think about the corporate attraction and expansion work that we do with our partners, there's a lot of different factors that companies are going to consider when they decide where they're going to invest. And various things related to business climate, they might be interested in tax policy, they're going to certainly be interested in workforce. But in a lot of ways, none of that really matters if you don't have a site. So not a lot of companies are willing to be patient with you over the course of a couple of years as you talk to them about a site that you plan to have in the future or a building that might become vacant in the future. If you can't produce a solution for them on the real estate side and do it pretty quickly, they move on. Again, this is a competitive game. And so there's lots of other places where companies can think about placing investments. If we can't solve that real estate issue, there's really not much else to talk about. the site in Mount Pleasant and TID 5 gives us a really robust answer to that question. And a different way to think about it is we don't present to a company timing risk. So all of the investments that the community has made into the road system, for example, into the water, wastewater capacity, all of the dollars that have been invested by our utility partners, so We Energies, ATC, we have a site that probably is the most robust industrial mega site ready to go in the country. So it gets us into a lot of these discussions. And Microsoft is really a perfect example of that. So the Microsoft deal came together over a number of months. But one of the things that Microsoft has made clear was the site itself was really important. The ability to execute their plan in a quick way, the fact that there wasn't that timing risk, that we didn't have to go and assemble the land, or we didn't have to talk about infrastructure that would be needed. The fact that we've got that all there ready to go, it really gets us into some discussions. And in the Microsoft deal, it was really instrumental in getting it closed.
And then lastly, Jim, would you mind just talking about kind of the big picture of just how exciting that Microsoft deal is, that to have a company like Microsoft here in the state of Wisconsin building a data center, which I believe is the first of its kind, if I'm not mistaken.
So, the excitement really starts with who this is and the fact that it's Microsoft. So this is one of the most respected technology companies. It's really a baseline technology company that gives the United States a lot of competitive advantage globally. The fact that they've picked us says, I think, quite a bit about our region. The second thing that I think is really important here, and that's the size of the investment. So $1 billion is the commitment that Microsoft has made to Racine County and to southeastern Wisconsin for this particular project. We don't see a lot of projects of that scale. And you think about all the deals that have gotten done in this region over the last 15 to 20 years, terrific companies making sizable investments, but none of those have approached $1 billion. So that has a lot of spin-off impact, I think, for the county. If you think about all the construction requirements that will go into that, that will give, I think, a lot of opportunities for other suppliers to be part of that process. It's going to create, I think, a lot of jobs in the construction trades as well. And so that's a terrific advantage that having a company like Microsoft in our community is going to afford. And I think we're going to see, having them in the park also helps us with how do we fill out the rest of the park. So having that name in our park is really going to be advantageous and help us to get other deals done in the future.